Your body of work is actually remarkable.
I've picked up a lot of things from Prashanth. And he's a very good actor who will fool you into thinking because of his demeanor off camera that he's very laid back. I will refuse to be part of a film where I want to say something personally that is political. I will only do a film if it resonates with me as an artist. If people like who you are very blessed. If people don't like who you are, try not to interact a lot with people. Yeah.
Bhavna, and you're watching India Today. In his third decade in the Indian film industry, he's worn several hats. He's a director, a producer, and above all, an actor par excellence. Yes, I think you must have guessed it right. I am talking about Prithviraj Sukumaran. And he's here with me right here in Mumbai. Firstly, a huge welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I'm actually very thrilled right now talking to you, but also, I was going through one of your interviews and you mentioned that for Salaar, you were all ready to say no to Prashanth Neel because you were like, okay, I have to say no to this. But then, of course, it turned into a yes.
Yeah.
What was that, the script, yes, but apart from that, what is that one thing you would particularly pinpoint that made that no turn to a yes?
It was just how pleasantly surprised I was with the script of Salaar. So, Hombale Films, the producers of Salaar, had come down to Cochin with the intention of discussing the possibility of me directing something for them.
Correct.
And it was at the end of that discussion we shook hands and we decided we'll do something together. That Vijay Kirgandur sir from Hombale Films told me that also, Prashanth would like to discuss the idea of you doing a character in his next film.
Correct.
And this is much before the world got to know about Salaar. And immediately, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Prashanth Neel, the director of the KGF franchise, making a film with Prabhas, one of the biggest stars of the country, with Hombale producing it, this giant, massive film. So you have this preconceived notion of what such a film could be. And then I'm listening to the narration, thinking it's going to be that kind of a film.
Correct.
Then I'm completely caught off guard because I didn't think it would be a film about two friends,
Correct.
about the relationship between these two people. I did not expect it to be that. So just suddenly I was caught by surprise and I was like, oh, I want to do this, I really want to do it.
Yeah.
So, because till then I had not done a film outside of Malayalam for the longest time because cinema in Malayalam was great and we are going through
still great.
we are going through a great phase and I was very happy with what is happening in Malayalam cinema. But I listened to it and it's just this pleasant surprise of getting something that you did not expect at all.
Correct.
And then of course, then all the other factors kicked in that it's a Prashanth Neel film.
Yeah.
It's got Prabhas leading the cast. It's easily the biggest film I've ever been part of. So yeah, that is what made me say yes to the film. And I think that is what people watching the film will also be pleasantly surprised about.
Correct.
Because on top of all the spectacular action sequences, the violence, the huge sets, the scale, on top of all that, I think what really works in Salaar, for Salaar, is the drama.
The emotional cord that it has.
Yeah, and I think that is what people will take away from. So
I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too.
And also the look, let's talk about that a bit before I dive in more, because I feel that it's so unique and I've never seen you perhaps in a look like that. Was it completely Prashanth Neel's
it was completely
brainchild, or did you also sort of have
not at all? It was completely Prashanth Neel's idea, and what is so impressive about the look is that it looks very cool, but it's not just the aesthetics. There is a reason. Each piece of jewelry I'm wearing, what I'm wearing on my arm, why I'm dressed that way, it's all got a story, a reason.
Okay, lovely.
So, about this fictional place called Khansar, Prashanth has created an entire 1,000-year-old history.
Yeah.
And there's a reason behind each bit of the styling.
Correct.
So, there is so much thought process behind making me look the way I'm looking in the film that it is not just about the aesthetics, which is very impressive, which is, you sort of, as a fellow filmmaker, you sort of think, oh wow, that's...
I was actually coming to that because you're a filmmaker yourself, right? And when you see another filmmaker dive in like literally with the background, the history and so much, and you yourself are kind of very meticulous when it comes to these things. What is it? How is that energy on set? Like sometimes do you also swap those hats and you're like thinking as a director while on a set where you're an actor?
Yeah, I am a filmmaker, so that I have that in me, but now I've trained myself enough and to a point where when I'm on set performing as an actor, the filmmaker in me switches off.
Okay.
And vice versa, when I'm directing another actor, the actor in me switches off. Having said that, I've had the privilege of being engaged with Prashant on multiple discussions on filmmaking and even the script of Salaar and all that. And Prashant is very receptive that way.
Of changes, yeah.
Prashant is constantly looking for, another perspective on a scene, a different opinion on a plot point. So I've really had the privilege of spending a lot of time with Prashant discussing these things, and I'm way richer as a filmmaker because of the Salaar experience. Because Prashant is an amazing filmmaker. To have spent that kind of time with him is a privilege.
You know, and I can feel that, because I feel that with every project you obviously learn and you grow as an artist, right? And in this, it's not just the actors that you've worked with, but also the crew and the director. The energies have rubbed on in a nice way, right?
I mean, I don't think there's anything Prashant has picked up from me. He doesn't need to.
Let him speak about that.
But I have picked up a lot of things from Prashant, yeah.
But if I may ask, because I remember I was reading one of your other interviews where you literally were like, you cannot compare. Your body of work is actually remarkable.
Thank you.
You are not just a successful actor, but also a very successful director. Not many can boast of this achievement. I think one person, obviously, which is a no-brainer, comes to your mind is Kamal Haasan. And I know you will chide me and you'll be like, no, you can't compare me. But I want to know if you can name two people, perhaps, who have had a very great influence in your body of work, or how you look at cinema, or the craft, or a film which changed you, perhaps.
It's very difficult for me to pick one film, but there are many people who inspire me, like many people who, like Kamal sir, absolutely, I am just on a path traversing in a direction that he created, at least for us from the south. I'm never going to reach where he's reached, but he's the beacon, he's the one who's shining the light for all of us to travel on that path. As an actor, Mammootty sir and Mohanlal sir, I've grown up watching their work. They are the people who really made you fall in awe with the craft of acting. Amitabh Bachchan sir, I'm a huge fan of the Salim Javed, Amitabh Bachchan writers, actor, what they created in the late 70s, early 80s. I'm a huge fan. Clint Eastwood, being 93 and making a film, that's inspirational for me.
Yeah.
So many people across multiple industries, across multiple crafts, that have inspired me as an actor, as a filmmaker. So yeah, it's very difficult to pick one.
I can imagine. I mean, the list can go on.
Yeah, it can go on and on and on. Yeah.
But one of the things that you have perhaps inspired a lot of people for is how secure you are as an actor, and that reflects. Okay, I mean, again, I just pick pieces from whatever you have said before, but in an interview, of course, you mentioned one of the anecdotes where you had to actually convince a director to sort of, and make him believe that you are okay playing a smaller part, but that is the part which fits you. I don't know of many actors who would do that, especially in the times where most of them are sort of looking for more screen time, more leading roles. I mean, it's part and parcel of the industry. I want to know, where does this sense of sort of like security come from? Where does it stem from?
From an acute sense of selfish realization, of being experienced enough to understand that what matters the most is the film.
Correct.
If the film does not work, whatever you do in it is not going to work. People are not going to talk about a fantastic performance in a bad film.
True.
They're only going to talk about a good performance in a great film. So your first priority should always be to make sure that you are doing within the film what will help the film.
Correct.
I would always prefer being part of a great film doing an average character than a bad film doing a fantastic character.
Wow.
Right? So when you get a script, and if you realize that as an actor, this is how you can best help the film, this is how you can best help attain the vision that that particular filmmaker wants to attain, then you put yourself as a secondary priority. Your first priority should always be to try and make the best version of that film.
So, if I may ask, was Prithviraj always like this, or the shift happened after a certain year or a phase that perhaps you had to encounter?
I would like to believe I've always been like this, but the credit is not mine. The credit is also an illustrious heritage that the Malayalam film industry has.
True.
Over the years of great actors taking the same path. You would have multiple instances of Mammootty sir, Mohanlal sir, all of them, putting themselves aside and thinking about the film first.
Yeah.
you know, putting themselves as a secondary priority and thinking, okay, no, this is not what matters. What matters is that the film should
Yeah.
work. So I have these great geniuses to look up to and learn from. So
Yeah, and you know, even with the way you praised Prabhas in the film, and you such kind words you had for him. I want to know, as an actor, when you see, this is the first time you were on set with him as well. What is it that you perhaps were spellbound, because you know, you hear, you know, you see them on screen. What is it that surprised you?
So Prabhas is a wonderful actor. He's a wonderful actor, blessed with an amazing physicality. And when I say an amazing physicality, I'm not saying a great body, which he's very well built and all that, but not that. He's got this amazing physicality of coming across as a character. You know, like Prashanth said, he is this great junction between seeming very innocent and likable, and then switching to this scary, violent
Yeah.
guy. So that's something. That's a blessing as an actor, to be able to have a physicality that lends itself to both of these sides.
Yeah.
And he's a very good actor. You know, he is a very good actor who will fool you into thinking, because of his demeanor off camera, that he's very laid back, and he's, you know, he'll make you think that he's not thinking about the film or the character, but come in front of the camera, within the shot, he's very sharp.
Yeah.
And he's very in tune with what he has to do, and it's a delight to work with him.
And I can see that in the way you talk about him. It just reflects, you know. But again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you have had more, like, you have had the sort of a career where you have had more hits than flops.
Not really. Not really. I mean, I've done about 120 odd films.
Wow.
At best, I think it would be a very benevolent 50-50 at best. I don't think I've had more hits
No,
than
but I
flops.
feel that your body of work has been more like.
I mean,
whenever
I'm lucky enough to have a significant number of films that
Yeah.
people will remember. You know,
Yeah.
I'm privileged enough to have been part of enough cinema that I'm assuming that I'm not going to be forgotten now. So
That you definitely wouldn't be. But also, I want to know, has that sort of made you immune to sort of, like, of course, everyone is right now, we know everyone is talking about the clash that is happening at the box office, but as an actor, as an artist who has given whatever he could to the role, to the film, are you at peace with that fact and not like, or does that clash, the thought of it, or just reading it in the media sometimes clash with your, after, like, at the back of your mind, do you ever think about
no, it
these
doesn't,
things?
because I treat my successes and my failures the same way. I walk away from it. There will be lessons that you can learn from both. Learn those,
Correct.
don't let them go, and then walk away from it. So I am a staunch believer in giving my 120% to every film I do. Do all that you can for the film, promote it, give interviews like these, you know, and do all that you can for the film.
Yeah.
And come that Friday, walk away from it. So on 22nd, if Salaar is India's biggest hit, or if Salaar doesn't do well, 23rd will still be the same day for me.
Wow. Wow. Can I get some, can you rub on that kind of energy with me? I overthink about the little things also.
I mean, life will teach you not to eventually. Yeah.
But you know, I think one of your biggest things that we have always learned about you, while I was also like going through a lot of your films and your stuff, I realized that that your straightforwardness was often misunderstood by people. I know that it didn't bother you at a very like, you know, at a personal level so much, because your craft spoke right on screen. But like, really, I want to know, as a human being, it's difficult to not get affected by what people think, because you're in public space at the end of the day. Did it never bother, or did you reach a point at a certain phase where you thought that now it doesn't bother what people think?
Well, I don't know if I reached that point or if I just started off from that point, you know. But I always knew for a fact that I have to hold on to who I really am, you know. I'm good enough as an actor to make you believe I'm someone else.
Yeah.
You know, I can do that. I can put on a persona and maintain that around
Yeah.
to make people think I'm someone else. But then, how long will I maintain that?
Yeah.
How long will I play that character? You know, there's a character I play in every film, and then a character I play off camera in live.
Yeah.
Then when am I getting to be myself?
Yeah, true.
So, like I said, there is only one character you can consistently stay true to. That's yourself.
True.
So, if people like who you are very blessed. If people don't like who you are, well, try not to interact a lot with people. Yeah.
But that's so cool. You know, another, I mean, Malayalam cinema, I was introduced to it 10 years back actually, because I was in Chennai and I had a lot of Malayali friends who were just like, you have to watch this, it is great. And that's when I realized that what part of cinema I was missing. And I believe that is what a lot of people think now, because we have access to all of these films thanks to streaming platforms. And I know it's a great opportunity for all the good films to sort of reach out. But personally, because you belong, I mean, your fondness for that cinema, of course, everyone knows, right? What is the biggest change that you have seen? Because last time when I was speaking to Dulquer, and I remember he said that this is a very great time, because I feel that finally those films are being not just watched in Kerala or certain parts in South, but pan-India and abroad. What is that one thing you still wish happens? Because I feel that there's still a little bit of bridge that needs to be sort of, like, you know.
No, actually now I'm worried for the other end of the phenomenon, because suddenly people have started talking about Malayalam cinema. Suddenly there is a deluge of money into the industry. Suddenly we don't have as many constraints in terms of budgets and all that in the industry anymore. And I'm really hoping and praying that this newfound liberty / freedom that we have as filmmakers, as actors, as producers, don't make us go away from what we were originally good at. You know, there is a reason why people started watching Malayalam cinema and thought, oh wow, they're making brilliant stuff. And I hope we stay true to that. But having said that, it is great to know that now people across the country have accessibility to our work.
True.
That they can now watch our work on streaming services, on satellite, and they are aware of the kind of cinema that we are making. And that is a great validation for any form of art, for any artist. So that's a great thing to have happened. Thanks in no small part to the streaming services. And I hope that's a phenomenon that keeps growing and gives us bigger and bigger spaces across, across linguistic borders. So.
You know, and also one amazing fact about the kind of films that you have done is, while it's not on the face kind, but you have always experimented with the genres and the subjects, which today is considered very conventional, back then was non-conventional, and you've still been part of films like that. Where does that conviction stem from? Because even a Jana Gana Mana, for me, I feel it, or on paper, it seemed like a subject which could go either way, you know, because it's a subject which is very emotional, and at the same time, it is a social message, right? When you're part of projects like that, how do you weigh the pros and cons as an actor? Because you have to, or as a director, or as a producer, because you have to think from all the hats, right? How do you weigh the pros and cons?
So the idea behind perceiving cinema is not to overanalyze it. And it's very important that when you listen to a script or a narration, you don't listen to it or read it assuming you're already part of it.
Correct.
You need to be able to look at it as an audience, as a film lover. The first person a script has to appeal to is a film lover in you. Does it appeal to you as a film lover? Did you read something or hear something that you wish you really want to see on screen?
Correct.
If that is a yes, only then move on to, okay, what am I doing in it? What is my role? Or do I want to direct it? And it is as simple as that.
Right.
You know, does it resonate with you as a film lover is the first question. Does it resonate with you as an actor or a filmmaker is only the second question.
Correct.
And I know the process sounds very oversimplified, but it is only that much.
No, because I remember you mentioned that while you did Mumbai Police like 10 years back, there were people around you who said and who questioned your choice back then, because it was considered unconventional to play a homosexual person on screen back then, but you still went ahead with it. How do you
Because it resonated with me as an actor.
Okay.
I remember listening to the climax of Mumbai Police and being genuinely shocked and being in awe of how unpredictable that twist was.
Correct.
Like there could be nothing that could catch the audience more off guard than that twist. And I was in awe of it and I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And when you resonate with, as an artist, when you resonate with something so truthfully, chances are that it probably won't go wrong.
Yeah, chances are you have to take those chances.
Absolutely,
But I feel that the liberation that an artist had when it comes to taking risk with subjects like these was much more, in fact, earlier than it is today, because of the political conditions and the volatile situation. I mean, we are all going through a phase like that. Does that sometimes restrain you as an artist at any level, or do you not think or consider those things as long as you are sure of the subject?
So I can only truthfully claim that I have never been part of any film for any other reason other than being artistically attached to
Inclined,
it.
yeah.
I will refuse to be part of a film where I want to say something personally that is political. So I've decided to make a film around it. I will only do a film if it resonates with me as an artist. And I'm a true believer that films from all perspectives deserve to be made.
Right.
You know, perspectives will differ, opinions will differ. What is right to you might be wrong to me. What is right to me might be wrong to the next person.
Correct.
But stories from each of these perspectives deserve to be told. And if you're an artist, if all three different films resonate with you, you are at liberty to do all three.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive art.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive the form of art that is cinema. And I hope, it remains that way.
Yeah, every time I've heard you speak, and today while I'm speaking to you, the only thing that resonates with me is how true you can be to the art in general, and not like everything else just follows, but it is important to stay true to the root of what you fell in love with.
Yeah.
And I hope that you keep doing that.
Thank you so much.
Always, because I don't know, I feel that experience changes you.
Yeah, it
At
does.
least that part of you never changes,
Yeah.
and that's great. But also I have a complaint now, let me do that. You decided finally to sort of come out of Malayalam cinema and try a bit and do a Telugu film now with Salaar because you found it interesting. But what about like Hindi cinema? I don't think we've seen you here for the longest time. Yeah, of course, and I can speak for everyone that they loved you in it. The box office success, I don't know.
It was not a success.
But it's just that people really, like, I still know of people who would just play the song and just be like, oh my god,
Okay.
But I want to know, are there plans, like, are good Hindi cinematic films not coming to you? What are you looking at, perhaps, if you want to
So,
come?
I mean, I don't know if it's something that is an offshoot of the phenomenon that has been happening with regard to cinema from the south finding acceptance all over the country. I don't know if it's because of that. Suddenly, I'm getting a lot of interesting scripts from Hindi, right? Many films, many scripts have found their way to me where I've read it and gone, oh wow, I mean, this is,
Okay, great.
where were all these writers? So I've done a film with Ali Abbas Safar called Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, where I play this fantastic character that
Wow.
I possibly couldn't say no to. I'm the antagonist in the film. It's got Akshay sir and Tiger and a host of other actors. I've also done another Hindi film, which actually I've almost finished shooting, which we will very soon officially announce. So after a while, I'm sort of doing 2 films in Hindi.
We are looking forward to Salaar, which
Thank you
is
so much.
releasing on December 22nd.
Yes.
Looking forward to seeing you, Prabhas, Shruti, all of them like really rock it on screen.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I hope that you keep doing amazing work always.
So do I. Thank you.